Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. Scuba diving, the British Virgin Islands. Dive site, Thumb Rock. Thumb Rock is located off the southwest tip of Cooper Island. This dive site has a maximum depth of about 60 feet, and the minimum skill recommendation is that of open water diver. Thumb Rock gets its name from the large thumb-like looking boulder on the shore. There is a second large pinnacle shaped like a thumb underwater. The seagull ray appeared very quickly as soon as the dive began. It left just as quickly as it had arrived and was not seen again for the rest of the dive. Since there are two thumbs up on this dive, one on the shore and one underwater, I guess they could have called it Two Thumbs Up Rock Dive. Since this dive site has southeastern exposure, it is particularly vulnerable to easterly sea states. The dive guide says that there is typically surge here. The surge can be particularly problematic around the rocks and walls. From the mooring line, we descended about 50 feet and swam southeast following the 50-foot contour. There were alternating bands of sand and coral. After a few hundred feet, we came to the second underwater thumb. There were overhangs to explore on the northern face of the rock. The boulder and rubble field to the east of Thumb Rock are also interesting areas to explore. In order to return to the mooring, we stayed closer to the shoreline at a depth of about 35 feet and swam northwest. At this point, we were swimming around and over boulders. After a couple hundred feet, we came to an area with large boulders encircling a small shallow pool in about 25 feet of water. Inside this pool, we found many juvenile reef fish. At this point, we exited the pool and headed west. There was a nice stand of pillar coral that served as a good signpost. By the time we reached about 50 feet, we were very close to where we had started at the base of the mooring. This video was filmed over the course of a single tank dive. The dive started at 10:38 in the morning and lasted just over 50 minutes. I recorded a maximum depth of 68 feet and an average depth of 38 feet. The average water temperature recorded by my dive computer was a comfortable 86 degrees Fahrenheit. The visibility on this dive was greatly impacted by the overcast sky and particulate in the water. This combination didn't make it a great dive for underwater photography, but it wasn't a bad combination for shooting some underwater video. Here's a view of the underwater thumb. I think the thumb above water really looks a lot more like a thumb than this one, but I guess it's all a matter of perspective. There were quite a few Caribbean lobsters on this dive site. In fact, I think on these dives in the British Virgin Islands, I've seen more lobsters than I've seen anywhere else diving in the Caribbean. I'm really curious if anyone else has similar experience diving in the British Virgin Islands here compared to the rest of the Caribbean. There just seems to be an extremely large amount of lobsters. Perhaps my imagination, but I really don't think so. Let me know in the comments. What's your experience? This was day number 4 of diving for me on this trip, and this in particular was dive 14. I really enjoyed all of the dive sites so far in the British Virgin Islands. The visibility could have been a little better, but that was largely due to the weather patterns and the time of year. So my expectations weren't particularly high, because I knew this wasn't the best time of year to dive the British Virgin Islands, but they do have a reputation for being a wonderful place to dive, and I think I should like to come back during better weather. As I mentioned, this was dive number 14 for me on this trip, and day 4 of diving, with only a day and a half of diving left. These trips seem to go by so terribly quickly. It seems like you're just hitting the water and then it's almost done. The weather, along with the visibility, improved throughout the dive. Can you tell the difference in the video? I hope you enjoy the rest of the dive. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.